Title echoes in the Gallows. It started with the rain. Not a gentle drizzle, but a furious, drumming downpour that seemed to mock the accusation swirling around me. I, Laura Blackwood, was branded a witch, a harbinger of ill fortune, a devourer of souls. The townsfolk of Oakhaven, faces grim and stained with fear, had already begun their ritual. A pyre was rising in the square, built of my family's finest timber. I hadn't expected this. I'd lived a quiet life, gathering herbs, brewing potions, simple magic, really. But the whispers had begun, the unsettling dreams, the livestock dying. I tried to ignore them, but the sheriff, a man named Thorne, wasn't listening. "She's a blight upon this land," he bellowed, his voice echoing through the gathering crowd. Consequences. I knew then I had to fight back. As they bound me to the gallows, I focused my will. I reached out, not to a deity or a demon, but to the echoes of the past, the lingering spirits, trapped within the ancient oaks that surrounded Oakhaven. I'd always been a listener, a conduit for the unseen. A coldness swept over me, a rush of voices, of memories. They weren't malevolent, not initially. They were confused, saddened. I called upon the spirit of Silas, a woodcarver who died a century ago, crushed beneath a falling beam. He appeared a shimmering, translucent figure, his hands still stained with wood dust. "They misunderstand," he said, his voice a soft rustle of leaves. I felt a sickness, a draining of the land. It wasn't me causing it, but something else. His presence shifted the crowd's attention, a ripple of unease spreading through their faces. I summoned others, a restless child who drowned in the river, a shepherd lost in a blizzard, even the spirit of the oldest oak, burdened with centuries of silent observation. Each one confirmed my suspicion. A dark presence was feeding off Oakhaven's life force. Thorne, enraged, ordered his men to silence the spirits. But they couldn't. The ghosts were too strong, anchored to the land, fueled by their own unresolved emotions. The air crackled with energy, a visible manifestation of the conflict. Suddenly, the spirit of Silas raised his hand, and a wave of pure, white light erupted from him, bathing the square. The crowd recoiled, screaming in terror. "This isn't witchcraft," Silas roared, his voice amplified by the collective spirits. "It's a corruption, a leech." He turned his gaze towards Thorne, and I felt a surge of cold, accusing energy. And then Thorne crumpled to the ground, clutching his chest, a look of utter horror on his face. The spirits hadn't killed him, not exactly. They'd revealed the rot that had been festering within him, a dark secret he desperately tried to bury. The trial dissolved into chaos. The townsfolk, terrified and disoriented, fled. I was free, but I knew this was only the beginning. I had called upon the echoes of the past, and in doing so, I'd unleashed something